Quick recap. We are in France, traveling on the Great Alpine Road, RG for short, from Thonon to Menton, through more than 17 high passes of the French Alps and taking some detours along the way. After the previous very rainy and cold day, we waited a while in the morning so the weather could clear up and heat up. The RGE starts out low-key, no major passes, just lush valleys, cold rivers and wide bands. The first major pass for the day was called Isere. Again, I'm heavily relying on Google Translate for the pronunciation, so sorry for probably butchering the words here. You can easily take a detour from here to Mont Blanc, so let me show you some pictures from a few years back. I'm not sure 9 constitutes as a few, it felt not that long ago until I have actually checked how many years it was. We are just at the second highlight for the day and the weather is already failing us. Col de Colombiere was a great spot to jump into the rain gear again. But look at that view, the mountains in the distance. This is a promise that we will be entertained for the coming days for sure. Originally, I wanted to come back here because in my memories at least, these roads were fun and breathtaking, but not crowded like in Austria or in the Dolomites. To be honest, the last time we were here was during September, not in July, and also my memory is not the greatest. I tend to just remember the good parts. It's a self-defense mechanism, which worked for me so far really good. My memory is like an old answering machine with an infinite although very short tape. When the tape is full and starts over, everything is overwritten eventually. Just the really impressive moments can stay for long, because they leave a deep mark, not easily wiped out. They get mixed and mushed together with other memories, but they stay with me. As we got closer to the fun parts, it was hard not to notice the increasing number of sports cars and motorcycles. This we always consider as a good sign, like an indicator for fun routes. Still, I won't say the traffic was disturbing, but we didn't get the alone at the top of the world feeling on most passes, especially not in the more famous ones. Despite all of this, I felt somewhat betrayed at Col des Aravis. It's apparent from my body language. Finally, we are here, everything should be perfect, and now we have rain for the second day in a row. I knew I wasn't reasonable, but that was how I felt. We couldn't come earlier, some of the passes can be closed in June. In a week or two the Tour de France will be here, so that was not an option either. So I just had to overcome my unreasonable state of mind and try to enjoy the moment. There's a special Hungarian snack, chocolate-covered curd rods, with a unique white packaging covered in red dots. The ad even says the one with the red dots is the original one. Some Hungarian cows must have escaped and ran all the way here. Only that can explain these depictions on the road. At Luck Tours alone, we've made the most stereotypical photos ever. This exact composition you can find in most articles about the RGA. It's like holding the Leaning Tower of Pisa or pinching the moon in a photo. But when you pass this place, you just have to do it. It's so picturesque. This stop was enough to push the balance back in my mind. The rain had lost its power over us. It was absolutely not enough to spoil our mood again. The sights around us overpowered every negative thoughts I may have had. The thick white clouds covered the area like a fluffy blanket, keeping us safe. I'm not much of a festival or rally guy, I don't like the crowd. So I don't have much experience, but I'm sure on these roads I saw more motorcycles in any day than on most events altogether. It was apparent there's no standard bike for these parts. Every kind was present, from the run-of-the-mill GSs through naked bikes and cruisers to Vespas. The diversity was much higher than in Austria or in Italy. I could still feel myself pretty unique with my own old bike. I maybe saw 2 other GTRs in these 5 days, not more. Couldn't help myself, we had to make a little detour to call the Petit St. Bernard. I wasn't going to just ride by this famous pass without showing it to my better half. Having an actual border crossing at this height was probably a unique experience back in the days when borders were a thing around here. As they say, no good deed goes unpunished. Fog started to settle and the temperature dropped. At the top, we turned around and descended back to the valley to push forward on our tour. Our final destination for the day was Val d'Isere, well above 1800 meters, so the evening was chilly. This one small nice village was turned into a ski resort almost 100 years ago. During the summer, it looked empty, but let's take into account the weather was not really welcoming. I didn't bring any shoes, beside my motorcycle boots and a sandal, so my toes were not happy walking around in the freezing rain. But hey, the whole Mediterranean area was once conquered in sandals, so it has to be enough for us now too. See you next time when we continue our trip along the Alpes to Barcelona.